y'all, it is Vlogmas day 7 and I am huddled up in my office with Samson with the space heater going because we are cold. So you're probably gonna have to deal with a little bit of rosy cheeks, but we're just gonna go with it. I turned it off for now because it makes a racket and Samson is in here, so you probably have enough background noise without the space heater going. Let me show you today's advents. The Scrappy Advent is this one right here, and it is so pretty. I may have to rearrange some of my colors. This part is fun for me. Like on my granny triangle shawl, I used my row 1 minis, and what I did, at first I was gonna be like, I'm just gonna grab them randomly. But I knew I wanted to have some type of flow with the colors because I think it would really bother me if I didn't. If it's a blanket, I don't really care. But a shawl that I may wear out somewhere, I kind of wanted to have some type of color flow. So what I did is I would just grab like a handful of them, then put them in order of how I thought the colors would flow nicely. So even though it's all different colors, I feel like it has a flow to it. So that's kind of how I want my juniper cowl to be. So this part is kind of fun, just the challenge of pairing the colors just so it looks scrappy but also really nice, if that makes sense. I will play around with these later and let you know what I decide, if I decide to change any of the colors up. Ruby and Roses day 7 is this gorgeous yarn. Okay, I'm second guessing myself now because I actually paused editing day 6 and now I'm like, okay, is it really day 6 and day 7? Yes. It is Thursday, December 7th at 12:30 p.m. So I just wanted to make sure. I am just loving this color. As you can tell, I'm like into berries and pinks right now. Literally, I have on, I don't match at all. And yeah, I have on a pink shirt, this berry hoodie, a pink watch band. I make my own hair ties because I don't like store-bought hair ties that like hurt my head. So I make my own hair ties out of elastic. And this one just happened to be right there on the counter by my camouflage one. And I'm like, you know what, it kind of matches. And then I've got like these pale pink pants on. Like I'm a whole mood today, a whole pink mood. Okay, that is my husband calling, so I'll be back. I believe I just showed you Ruby and Roses day 7, but I can't remember, so here it is again. The ALC Yarns day 7 is this one. Oh my gosh, I keep saying I have favorites, but I see it and I'm like, oh, I remember this one. I loved this one too. There's more speckles. I know y'all are surprised by speckles at this point. When I put the first color on this, I was like, ooh, this is kind of beachy. And then I added the purple and then added like another turquoise blue. And I'm like, I don't really think it's beachy anymore. And then I added the speckles. I named this one Paradise Found because the colors are just so happy. I'm sorry about the background noise, y'all. Samson is playing with his backpack and he chews on the straps of it. It's like his favorite toy. So he makes all kinds of noises. He gets a bark box and it was something that was in his bark box, and literally like if you tell him to go get his backpack, he's gonna go get his backpack. It's really adorable. Paradise Found. And just look at those speckles. Then the extra little happy is one of my favorite things. It is a pair of these little scissors. I love that they're like teeny tiny, so they're travel size, plus they fit in like a bunch of notions tins that I have. And the best part is you can pop the little cover off and it stays attached, because I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that if I get a pair of scissors that have a cover, there's a really good chance that that cover's not gonna last long. I'm gonna lose it. So having it attached is so nice. Plus, with a little active puppy who is super nosy, it's really hard to have scissors. So these are my go-to now. I can kind of like block him and cover them up real quick if he comes over there while I'm trying to cut something. I just noticed somehow I have dye powder on me. I literally like walked into the yarn room to switch some clothes out of the washer and the dryer, and somehow I ended up with dye powder. Just hope I didn't get it on this. Oh well, it would blend in if I got it on this, right? Cute little travel scissors, obsessed with these. So those are day 7's advents. And I'm making a little bit of progress on my advent projects. Here is my juniper cowl. Yeah. I haven't made a whole lot of progress on this one because I'm a little bit obsessed with my Find Your Fade shawl. I have this one in here at my desk. So while I'm editing Vlogmas, I can kind of get a few stitches in. It's easier to stop that than it is the Find Your Fade shawl. So that's kind of how I'm making progress on this one, because even though I take both of them and have them in my recliner, most of the time I'm going to pick up the Find Your Fade shawl. Let me show you that one. Here is my progress so far. It doesn't look like I've done much, but I did several rows so far today. I've spent the majority of my morning doing laundry and a little bit of knitting, a little bit of crocheting, and prepping for a podcast that I'm going to do today. So I literally have like 3 notebooks of notes for the podcast, because as I'm thinking of things, I'm writing it down, because it's been 2 months since I've podcasted and so much has happened. As I'm thinking of things, I'll like write it down, and it's whatever notebook is in front of me. So I grabbed a 3rd notebook and got like super organized and caught up on a few emails. In a few of the Vlogmas episodes, I went in and checked comments and stuff like that. Then I started editing Vlogmas Day 6. I'm trying to get all of the editing of Vlogmas Day 6 done before I go wash yarn. But for sure, I want to get this intro video done and my podcast done before I go outside and wash yarn, because it's cold today and I'm going to be like bundled up. So once I get done washing yarn, my hair's probably going to be really wild and my face will probably be like beet red and splotchy. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get all of this done. Plus, it'll give it a little time to warm up outside. I think it's going to be in the 60s today. I'm hoping so, because I'm freezing. Well, okay. Well, someone was jealous that my iPad was getting more attention than him. So I figured he could make his appearance. He needs his face cleaned. What have you been nosing here? Yeah, he's so stinking cute. He's obsessed with the space heater, and it's just the cutest thing. He stays away from it when it's on, but he'll get like close enough to it to like kind of smell it. And I turned it off right before I started this video, and I just caught him a few minutes ago licking it. I'm like, stop it. I don't know why he's obsessed with it, but he's sitting there licking it. I don't know if he loves it so much because it warmed him up or what, but I'm like, boy, you are a mess. Okay. The other night, I was in my recliner, and I think I had just uploaded one of the Vlogmas videos. It wasn't last night. I think it was the night before. I don't really remember. All the days are running together at this point. But my husband was in his recliner. I was in my recliner, and I kind of hear my voice. I'm like, what is that? And I look over, and my husband's like looking at his phone, and he's smiling. And it was just the cutest thing. I caught him watching my Vlogmas. I was like, oh, look, he's like supporting me and watching my videos. And then I hear like it speed up. And I look at him again, and he's watching it again. And I was like, are you watching my Vlogmas? He's like, yeah. I was like, will you just sped it up. He's like, I don't want to hear you talk. He says, I'm looking at the videos of Samson and I'm watching the parts with Samson in it. I was like, I just busted out laughing. I was like, here I am. I should have just not said anything. I was like, here I am thinking, oh, he's so sweet and he's supporting me and he just wanted to see his dog, which I can't blame him because he is super cute. Yeah, he's so cute. So anyways, it was really funny. I was like, I can't even be mad at him because it was really funny. I am going to get back at it. I've got a lot of editing to do on Vlogmas day 6, and I need to record a podcast plus wash yarn. So it's going to be a busy day, and I will check back in a little while. The podcast has been recorded, yarn has been washed, and almost all of the edits for Vlogmas Day 6 are done. Like I said earlier, my hair is always a hot mess after I've been working because it's usually up in a ponytail, and then if I'm outside, I've got some kind of hat or something on. Y'all, the podcast ended up being like an hour and a half long, like recording time. It might have been a little bit longer. Once I edit it, it's probably only going to be like an hour long because I get super chatty, in case you're surprised by that. But I also have a lot of stops and starts with Samson, and sometimes words are just super hard. I fumble through them, and y'all don't want to hear my ums and things like that, so I cut a lot of those out. Plus, the hardest part for me doing these videos is the starting and the stopping. Like, I'm fine in the middle once I like hit my groove, but the whole like looking at the camera and being like, hey, and then bye, I'm like so awkward. I just want to just like mid-sentence just turn it off. The other part is I get super excited, so I just kind of want to like jump in and start talking. Like, just start the video with like, let me show you this. So those two were like the hardest parts. So probably like 10 minutes of that hour and a half is me trying to get the video started and me trying to stop the video. I keep hoping that I'm gonna get used to it, and I just don't. Like, I even at one point, like I had like a little script. I'm like, I'm just gonna read this and it should flow better. No, it's even worse when I have a script. One day I need to get brave and do like a whole bloopers reel. Let me get focused here. I thought about rearranging the colors for my juniper cowl. I started out with a really pale gray. Then I went to that, I don't have it here in front of me. Is it like blue, turquoisey blue, and it had like the spots of gold in it? Once I run out of that, I'm going to that olive green color. And my plan was, I think, to go to this color and this color. I don't remember what my plan was, but I'm kind of thinking this out in real time. I don't really know how I want to rearrange it now. What I think I'm going to do, I think this is the one I just opened. I'm so terrible at this. I think what I'm going to do is shuffle this one back here, because this green matches the olive green that I'm using. Tomorrow's video, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I do kind of think I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Originally, I thought it was going to bother me, but I don't think it will. Even if I leave that out, I think that's really pretty. I feel like I'm messing up the lighting here. I'll talk more about it tomorrow when I have my cowl in front of me and can kind of show you all the colors. I did get a good amount of work done on my juniper cowl while I was editing Vlogmas Day 7. I have notes here because I keep getting myself confused. I was so determined to get, I think I still messed up even looking at my notes. I did. So it was Vlogmas Day 6 that I was working on. This is Day 7. Oh my goodness. Okay. I was so determined to get all the edits done on Vlogmas before I went outside and washed yarn, because what my plan was is to go ahead and get that edited and have it uploading to YouTube while I was outside washing yarn. I have a window right here, and I kept like looking to check the lighting, and finally I like look up and I'm like, oh, if I don't get out there as soon as possible, I'm going to be washing yarn in the dark. So I paused, and it was so close to being done. So I paused everything and changed clothes real quick and went out there and started washing up all of the yarn. The bad thing is it was already starting to get cold by the time I got out there. But the flip side was I got to watch a gorgeous sunset while I was washing up yarn. It was a little chaotic there for a few minutes because I really did not want to be washing yarn in the dark, and the temperatures were dropping pretty quickly, but it all worked out fine. After I got done with all of that, I was determined to finish edits and get it up on YouTube before I started supper. So I got all that done, and we ended up having supper a little bit later, but it felt good to have the edits done and check that off my list so I'm not literally in bed trying to finish everything. That is pretty much a wrap for Day 7. Not much happened after supper. I do have one funny animal story. So right before we were getting ready to go to bed last night, I hear my cat at the door meowing, and I knew that meow was he had something. We've had a few instances where my husband has just like opened the door and let the cat in, and one time he brought a mouse in the house and dropped it, and it ran off, and I thought we were gonna have to like sell our house and start over. That was a whole thing. But anyways, I literally was like picking my cat up and setting it near the furniture. I just saw the mouse go behind. I'm like, go get your mouse. That you brought that in, you're gonna take it out. Okay. That's not the story I want to tell you. So I open the door, and I'm like literally like peeking through this crack, and I'm looking at him, and he didn't have it, but I saw it in the background. So I let him in, and then I needed to let Samson out. And look, I have this irrational fear when it comes to mice. I would rather deal with a bear. So I don't even like having to tote them off. Like, I'm pretty much not going to do it. That's like my husband's thing. I just report to him, and then he takes care of it. So that was really fun, letting Samson out and trying to not let him get to the mouse. He like ran towards it, and I went full ninja. Like, I didn't know I could move that fast. I like pick him up and tell him to leave it, and then put him out in the yard. And he was good. It's like he kind of forgot about it. And then heading back up to the house, I see him hit another gear, and it was like he remembered the interesting thing on the porch. So again, ninja skills. I like cut him off and grabbed him and brought him in the house. And I set him down, and Gray Baby's right there waiting on him. And he walks up to him, and he's like sniffing his breath, making sure Samson didn't get his mouse. I was like, y'all are just too much. All of my animals have these huge personalities. They crack me up. Most of the time, they crack me up. Sometimes they test my gangster. That's all for Day 7, and we'll just see what adventure is waiting for us tomorrow. Bye for now.
Slap your turkey. Slap your turkey. Slap your turkey. Slap your turkey. A slappy turkey.